Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another amazing match here at the Rose Cup. I'm your play-by-play for the evening, Captain Jack, joined by the man who is one of our many beautiful days of the week, Matthew Tuesday. How you doing tonight, Matthew?
Oh, you make me blush. Beautiful days of the week. Thank you.
All right, so tonight we are in the Diamond Division. We're going to be seeing Tidal Esports Unagi versus the Council Prime. Now, while we were setting up, we digress that we are a little late this evening, but we are going to get you as much information as we can about these two teams because for you to be able to follow everyone, especially with Diamond being such a large conference, I would be incredibly impressed that we were able to follow along to begin with. So, Tidal Esports ended up in their conference being in second place, ended the season 9-2. With a map differential of positive 33. And then I believe, which conference did you say, Neith? UMA. And then for the Council Prime, they ended their conference in third place with 8-3, with a map differential of plus 22. Now, if I'm correct, this is the first round of matchups for this division, I believe. So this should be incredibly interesting to see. Let's go ahead and get to our team rosters, if we will, for this evening. The Council Prime is bringing it with Grandy and Scrublord coming in on the tank rolls, Pouty and Quaz coming in on the DPS, and Schwab and Iceals. I believe I pronounced that correctly, hopefully, coming in on the heels for Tidal Esports Unagi. We got Tactician and their fill Imanin Sane. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Coming in on the tank rolls. Rydarus and Atharius coming in on the DPS, and Quantum and Audit coming in for the heals. Man, I tell you, these teams are ready to test my linguistic skills tonight. I tell you. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get things started off. It looks like both teams are ready to go. So, let's go ahead and get this party started. First map of the evening is going to be on Lijiang Tower. Now, this map I always find to be incredibly versatile when it comes to the different compositions that you could end up running on this map. And just because of the different angles that you can come at it with, especially knowing that we're in Diamond, we're kind of at that blend of sticking either to the meta or sticking to a composition that may not be meta per se, but the team is very good at running. Matthew, what do you see coming in for these teams here in the next couple of seconds?
Both teams picking up pretty meta compositions with the double shield and the Moira Lucio on both sides. Where the teams differ is DPS. For the side of the Council, we have May and Reaper. And for the side of Tidal Esports, we have a Doom Symmetra. Tidal Esports definitely looking for more of a in-your-face dive composition with the Symmetra Teleporter and the Doomfist being Doomfist. And the Council probably more than likely looking to take things slow, separate people with the Maywall, and get some fat deeps with the Reaper Shotgun.
All right, well, let's see if they can make that happen. They're already moving their way into the high ground right now as the point unlocks in 15 seconds. Shields down for either side as Tactician ends up getting melted by Quaz. That's already one pick down. Make that a second as Radaris also falls to those shotgun blasts. It's a 4v6 fight, but right now it looks like Esports are the one that are on the objective. Quaz grabbing Imanisane as well. It is a 3v, 2v, 1v0 on the objective as we see the Council Prime go ahead and capture this objective and start their percentage climb.
Now, it is worth noting that the Council picked defense for our King of the Hill placement, so their defensive position working out for them so far.
Now they are holding very far up in this objective. They're using that Mei wall to try to separate out the team. Coalescence coming out from Audit, trying to keep the team alive as Atharius swapping over to that Reaper as well. Takes Grandy out, but Imanasane falls to Quaz as well. Scrublord following up on Radarius as they go ahead and continue to hold this choke point right here. We're going to see Unagi get regrouped with 40% for the Council Prime.
This is exactly where you want to be if you're running the Mei like the Council is doing. Holding that aggressive push and making sure the Mei walls are catching out the initial targets.
And you see those halts coming out. Pouty coming in, ends up taking down Radarius on that Mei. As we see the suck coming in. Grandy able to follow up on both Tactician and Imanasane with both tanks out for the side of Unagi. It looks like that is going to be a shutdown of this push. Audit trying to see if they could at least grab the objective for a moment, but going to end up being unsuccessful. 70% and climbing for the Council Prime.
Unagi is just getting decimated by this Mei. Mei has just been holding left click in every single team fight and freezing at least 3 targets.
Radarius just flying past Scrublord after getting taken out. Blossom comes out from Quaz, and Atharius ends up getting Schwab as well as Atharius in return. The bongos now coming out as Pouty ends up falling to Quantum. Coalescence and bongos coming out for the side of Unagi. This is their last chance to take this objective if at all possible. Meteor Strike coming in from Radarius. Does damage, but doesn't end up getting them as Grandy takes them out of the fight. Audit following up on the Isils as they continue to work their way into this objective. Overtime ticking away. Blizzard coming out from Pouty, grabbing a majority of the objective, but there is a way to hold on. Graphitic Flux coming out as Atharius taking down Schwab and Grandy. Pouty following up on Imanasane, and this might be exactly what they need. Unagi, not out of the fight yet, is going to grab the objective from the jaws of defeat. 5% in climbing to the 99% of the Council Prime.
Tactician with the clutch Graphitic Flux, catching the remaining members of the defending Council on the objective. The only people that Tactician did not catch in that Graphitic Flux were the stragglers that were coming back from spawn.
That is true. Coalescence already coming out again for Audit as the Mei wall comes up. Ultimates are online for the side of the Council Prime, but with Pouty already getting uppercutted into oblivion by Radarius, as well as Isils, that might be enough for them to continue to hold on to this objective. Blossom coming out from Quaz does enough damage for Scrublord and Grandy to end up getting kills, but a Blossom in return from Atharius ends up shoring up those kills in return. 45% and climbing for Unagi.
Unagi has identified the threat. They have found their win condition. They are targeting Pouty early in these team fights and making sure his Mei cannot wreak havoc as they done in the first half of this match.
I agree with you there. 60% and climbing right now for Unagi as we see the Council Prime working into the objective from the high ground. Isils ends up taking down Radarius very early in that fight, but Pouty also falling to Atharius. Quaz returning the favor, as well as taking down Imanasane. The bongos now out. This may be the win condition for the side of the Council Prime as the Coalescence from Isils ends up getting the double Scrublord, following up onto Audit. The only one left is Radarius, who is going in to contest there at the last minute. 99 to 85, overtime ticking away as the Meteor Strike comes in. Radarius trying to hold on. Now we're going to see Imanasane come in as the Hammond, but going to get freeze and shotgun to the face by Quaz. Overtime continuing to tick away as Tactician looking to tactfully get into that objective. Quaz working on Audit as we see both Quantum and Tactician working their way in. The Blossom ends up coming out for Quaz as well as the beat drop from Schwab, but honestly, it wasn't needed. They were just trying to make sure that nobody was able to touch point. First point is going to end up going to the side of the Council Prime.
At the beginning of that very last team fight, Unagi did what they did. The last 3 team fights they were in, they took out Pouty, but the difference in that last team fight being that took them 2 members of their team to remove Pouty, and that just allowed Quaz to just clean up the remaining members of the team and recapture the point for the round victory. Now, Council Prime looking to run the same composition, and Unagi this time swapping out Aetherius on the McCree this time around, hopefully to get some stuns on Pouty or Quaz. Either way, it's they're both going right room.
That's going to be the interesting thing to see how that ends up being successful, because now you don't have a lot to be able to get past that shield with, and as we see Quaz already taking down Radaris very early in that fight, holding off this. Oh, the boop comes in from Schwab, ends up sending Audit right over the side as Quaz and Grandy start cleaning up. Aetherius does end up getting that pick onto Pouty as Quantum also booping Isles right off the side. Something about Moira's going flying tonight, folks, as we go ahead and see the Council Prime grab the objective and start their percentage climb.
Council Prime dominating the very first skirmish of the match, and also generating quite a bit of ult charge, 50% on the Graphitic Flux, and nearly a fully charged Coalescence on Isles.
Ooh, it looks like we see Aetherius coming back in on that Reaper, working in the backline, looking to see if they can take down Quaz. Gonna end up being unsuccessful and move back to the safety of Unagi as they go ahead and move their way in. The uppercut from Radaris ends up getting stunned by Scrublord's Rock and will end up getting taken out. Schwab with the double boop of Imanosane and Quantum over the side. Grandy and Schwab end up getting additional kills, moving in. Quaz taking down Tactician, solidifying the objective, 45% and climbing for the Council Prime.
Pouty and Schwab playing as perfectly as you would want your main Lucio to play on this map. Schwab getting those clutch boops, the double boop just then, and Pouty with the big Maywalls splitting half of Unagi.
Woo! The Blossom coming out from Quasi. Oh! But Quantum sends that Blossom over the edge before it can take one more in its fight. We now see Ithorus and Radaris right now getting separated out from the rest of the team. Quantum gonna get taken down by Isles as the percentage continuing to climb for the side of Council Prime.
Unagi, Rydaris rather. Apologies. Rydaris not able to find too much value on his Doomfist dives.
It is definitely becoming difficult, I will say that. Blossom coming out for Aetherius, as well as that Blizzard solidifying that entrance to keep them from coming in. Radaris and Ithorus end up getting a heal and a tank, so it's a 4v6 fight on the objective as Quantum with the beat drop coming in. Overtime ticking away right now for the side of the Council Prime, but it looks like if they are going to end up falling in this fight. Control going over to the side of Unagi, 5% and climbing to the 99% of Council Prime. I feel like I need to check if it's Groundhog's Day, because we've seen this before.
We've seen it before. In fact, it was actually the last map.
Yeah, it was exactly the same. It was exactly
the exact same
way.
Circumstances.
The question is, though, can they hold it this time? When they're in this position, it makes it so difficult to try to hold that off the entire time. Gravitic Flux coming out for both Tactician and Scrublord right there, but the bongos from Grandy might allow them to do more. Quantum gets the double over the side, copying their counter Schwab as Isles ends up getting down Radaris. The bongos from Imanosane end up allowing them to hold on to that objective, 45% and climbing to the side of Unagi.
Unagi having the defender's advantage on this point, with the Council trying to take the white room, as we saw Quantum able to get the double boops, but Pouty not exactly able to get the perfect placement on the Maywall.
Aetherius moving their way into the objective in that back line. Quaz coming out with the Blossom, gets Tactician, but the Blossom in return from Ithorus gets a double as well. Meteor Strike coming in from Radaris ends up doing enough damage for Icarus and Audit to go ahead and clear the objective once again. The first team kill of the evening, 84% and climbing. There will be one final fight for the Council Prime to take it, or we're going to a third map.
Therius' Death Blossom was definitely the more valuable Death Blossom, getting both healers on the side of the Council.
That is true. Coming in with the rock, Atharis gets the double already. Amonisane following up onto Scrublord as overtime ticking away right now. The Blizzard does end up coming down, grabbing a majority of Unagi, but some are able to get away. Quaz taking down both Amonisane and Quantum, but Tactician follows up onto Pouty. We're now seeing the Coalescence out from Audit, looking to see if it can get the pick. Will help out Radaris right there, as well as taking down Isols. That'll be a double, as now we are seeing Scrublord as well as Grandy coming in with the dive on the Winston and Hammond, trying to see if they can hold on, but it will be unsuccessful. Tying it up is Unagi 1-1 against the Council Prime here on Lijiang Tower.
It seemed that all Unagi needed to take the point was during that team fight. Quantum managed to get himself a sound barrier, and it kept his team in the fight long enough for Aetherius to pop off on the Reaper and wipe out 3 members of the Council Prime. Council Prime were not able to recover, put into the exact position that Unagi was in.
That is true. I want to call out to the chat. If we are mispronouncing a teammate's name, please go ahead and let us know in the chat. We were working on getting a ringer into the match, and so I completely forgot to ask ahead of time to make sure we had these all right. Believe me, we are not trying to do it on purpose. 15 seconds until the point unlocks. We're seeing them move in. Radarius coming in now with the Pharah, and already 50% to a barrage online as they go ahead and move in. Council Prime trying to hold on as long as possible. Aetherius now coming in on the Doom, takes down Pouty as Grandy following up on Amonisane. Is the battle of who can get the Q first at this moment, and right now Radarius looking to be that Pharah that's going to come in with that strong barrage, might be able to turn the tides from the side. Barrage coming in, called it, ends up taking down Grandy, but Schwab takes down Radarius, allowing the Council Prime once again to take the objective and start their percentage climb.
Radarius was not quite able to get the rocket barrage before the remaining members of his team had fallen. Once he did get the rocket barrage, all he was able to get was that Orisa.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part, but even with that Orisa, I guarantee you Scrublord using that suck would have ended up making it so. But hey, maybe it would have changed things with some additional support. Ultimates coming in right now as Aetherius ends up coming in and doing damage. Tactician gets the double, but so does Scrublord. Blossom from Quasi gets the double as well on Quantum and Tactician. The only one left on the objective right now is Radarius, but they're gonna end up getting a double on Quaz and Scrublord right there, but they will end up retreating to the safety of their team, because despite that they were up on the kills, they ended up getting picked off there at the end, but the res coming in from Quantum, getting them ready for another fight. 62% and climbing, and I was talking too much because we're already into and Monisane canceling out Pouty's ultimate. Barrage coming down, gets the triple. Monisane following up on Scrublord, and not a copy of the last 2 maps at 75%. We're going to go ahead and see Unagi take the objective and start their percentage climb.
Unless Pouty has some godlike projectile aim on that Mei, the Council's not really going to have a way to take Radarius out of the sky before they take out the rest of his team. So Radarius seems to be a little bit uncontested in the sky right now.
Well, I think we also have Scrublord, though, and with it being such a kind of closed-in space, I think that will allow them to continue moving forward. But I agree, unless they are focusing Radaris, is going to be difficult for them to continue to push in, as we're seeing right here. Meteor Strike comes in, but Scrublord taking down Atharius. Is a 3v3 fight as they move their way into the objective. The res coming in for Tactician, as we see the Far Mercy in the sky. Tactician does end up taking down Grandy as they move their way to the side. Quasi does take down Iman Sane, but Rydaris ends up getting the double on Isles and Scrublord, clearing the objective 55% and climbing for Unagi.
Unagi taking the smart route, taking their hold outside of the control point, making sure that Pouty is really the only one who can test Rydaris out here, because the Sigma balls don't really have all that much range on them. Without the enclosed walls, they're not doing much.
The barrage comes out, but so does the shield. Rydaris only able to get Quasi as Tactician, and Atharius get some kills as well. Scrublord able to take Rydaris out of the sky, and no res coming in for that fight. Atharius following up gets the double on Pouty and Scrublord as they go ahead and shut down that push once again. 95% and climbing. Schwab able to touch the objective as the Blossom comes out from Quaz, gets the double on both healers. This may be what they need to retake the objective, as Scrublord now coming in as the Hammond takes down Tactician. Radaris takes down Schwab in return. Is a fight of the Qs right now on the objective. Ithorus taking down Quaz as we see the punch coming in onto Pouty. After the Meteor Strike, Scrublord able to take down Atharius, though. Overtime continuing to tick away right now as Isles ends up taking down Radaris with the help of Grandy now in on the Diva. Schwab gets the boop kill onto Audit. Overtime continuing to tick away. Tactician, the only one on the objective. Joining them now is Quantum, looking to touch, but is going to end up getting taken down by Grandy. They're continuing to feed the point, trying to see if they can grab it into their favor, but will end up being unsuccessful as they go ahead and swap things over to the Council Prime's control.
As powerful as Rocket Barrage is, I truly believe that sometimes it is just not worth pressing the Q on Pharah, just simply for how vulnerable you are, and I do believe that cost Unari the point there.
It could be. Blizzard coming out ends up preventing most of Unagi from getting to the objective quickly, but the Far Mercy will get there. Poi following up on Imanasane and almost grabbing the objective. Barrage from Radaris takes down Isles as they continue to fight. Meteor Strike on the, or not Meteor Strike, Minefield on the objective as the slam comes in, takes down Quantum. Diva Bomb coming out for Grandy, looking to clear the objective is Atharius going down. Audit coming in with the Coalescence. Gravitic Flux from Tactician trying to keep everything up, but will end up being unsuccessful as they continue to fight their way in. Amonasane does end up taking down Scrublord. It is a 3v5 on the objective. Make that 4v5 as we see Isles joining the fight. Coalescence now coming out from Isles, trying to hold on as Poi ends up taking down Audi. Atharius following up on Grandy after the DMAC. Poi returning the favor on Ridus as Quaz ends up taking themselves out of the fight. Tactician, Amonasane, Tactician grabbing the objective. Overtime. Woo! Tidal Esports Unagi walking away at the last minute with their first match of the evening. On Lijiang Tower, Schwab walking away with play of the game. Makinore guarantee you it's going to be this frozen boop. Boop. Gets the double. And then ends up following up with an additional kill on Audit right here. Wow. Oh, man. That was one match, and I'm already wore out.
With how much is going on during that one match, you know what? I don't blame you.
I agree with you there. All right, folks. Whoo, goodness gracious. All right. I am also the referee for the evening, so I will be swapping things up as we're going forward. Unagi taking the lead 1-0 against the Council Prime after their victory on Lijiang. Since we're headed to our assault map next there, Matthew, what do you think we're going to end up seeing from these teams next?
You know what? I like Pouty's May. I feel like the Council Prime might choose at their map choice, Temple of Anubis. That's a very good map for May,
Mm-hmm.
and the double shield May Reaper composition works very well on both offense and defense. So if that's one of their comfort picks, definitely Temple of Anubis a good map choice for the Council Prime.
So looking in the chat, it looks like we did get our May's name wrong. They just called them Poi. So I mean, I was trying to pronounce all the syllables, all the vowels in there. It looks like Council Prime is getting their coach back in here, so we're gonna give them a minute to go ahead and do that. And while they do that, why don't you go ahead, hit that heart button at the top of the stream. You can also hit that bell. That'll notify you every time that we are online and support our community. You can also go ahead, hit that sub button, $4.99, or a Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription will continue to support this amazing community and give you access to some cool emotes and badges. So, interesting enough, Temple of Anubis could be. We could end up seeing the double barrier bunker, which I think is absolutely huge on this map. We may continue to see the Reapers coming out from either side, Quaz and Atharius just absolutely ripping it up. All right. Just absolutely ripping it up on either side right there with those Reapers. And then we saw Poi on the May, which could be definitely good on Temple of Anubis. Radaris coming in either as the Pharah or the Doom has been able to show kind of versatility when it comes to the DPS, which I think personally is good. Because you have those teams that just practice meta, practice meta, practice meta, practice meta, and then when they need to swap to something else because they know it's going to work out better, then they end up being a little rusty on it, if you know what I'm saying. So,
Don't quite have the experience on the flex picks to
really,
really make it effective.
yeah.
It's, so
No, I understand what you're saying. For me, like that's been the hardest part about going now to this roll lock, because for me I've always been a flex player. So, but even when I'm playing uh any of the roles that I'm locked into, like there's still a difference between playing Sigma and playing Orisa. Like you could say that they're very similar, and they are in certain ways, but if you're going to be good at a character, you really have to be able um to practice with them, get notes on their mobility. And a Chimp very surprised that there has only been one map after 30 minutes of play. Me too, Chimp. Me too. Well, don't you worry. We're headed right into the Temple of Anubis for our next map as we go ahead and see how our teams are going to set themselves up. Looking in the chat, it looks like Ford Liao saying, "Let's go, Tidal Esports. Don't listen to huh? Fordle? Oh, I did not know that. The things that I don't know from see, that's why we love you, Nee. You're always here for like every match." But we got Copy Dog in here rooting for the Council Prime. So it looks like we've got love on either side this evening. Definitely going to be interested to see how this goes down. Matthew, what do we see coming in for either side?
getting a little bit of hydration.
Yep,
Well,
me too,
for the
fam.
Council, of course, the good old double shield, and Poi this time, instead of taking the May, has opted for the Junkrat, which, of course, Junkrat made a name for himself during the wee old days of Overwatch's infancy on Temple of
Mm-hmm.
Anubis, with just how many hallways there are on this map and how effectively he can hold down left click and spam down those chokes. But attacking for Unagi here, double shield, Far Mercy, of course. Rydaris back on his patented Pharah. and Aetherius back on the Doomfist. Looking to be a pretty similar match, except with the introduction of spam from both sides.
Quantum already getting hit by Scrublord's Rock very early in that fight. Thankfully, did not end up going down to the safety of their team. Aetherius falling to Scrublord, though, starting things off, waiting to see if the res... I didn't see where they ended up going down, so I don't know if a res is possible, but it looks like they're just going to allow the respawn. 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock right now. This double shield showing to be incredibly effective because Radaris not able to get a good angle to get past it, to get some damage into that backline without allowing themselves to be kind of vulnerable. But now we're going to see the speed coming in from the side of Unagi as they move their way into the objective. Aetherius on the high ground looking to come in with that elbow drop and uppercut. Here it comes! Looking to see if they can get it, but will be unsuccessful, not able to hold on to the skill that is coming out right now from the side of the Council Prime, literally just holding them off the objective as they continue to push in using multiple shields instead of kind of overlapping them. The barrage from Radaris is exactly what they needed, though. Gets the triple on the tanks, and Quasi Souls comes in with the Coalescence, taking down Aetherius. But I don't think that's going to end up being enough as Tactician ends up falling them, and the res going to come in, and Schwab going to fall to Radaris. Now, Matthew Tuesday, I have to say, I feel like the thing that ended up screwing the Council Prime there at the end was the fact that they let that Pharah get behind them. What do you think?
Oh, exactly. That's all Unagi needed was that huge rocket barrage. And Unagi was at a bit of a disadvantage trying to run this style of composition without the Lucio, without the mobility to get the Pharah and the rest of their team into position there.
That ended up being unfortunate for them because they thought that they could end up chasing down Imanasane and get that pick early in the fight, but it ended up just leaving them vulnerable because without the defense of the walls that they were using, and ended up shutting things down. Tyre coming out. Oh! Poi getting the double on Tactician and Audit. And it looks like we're going to end up seeing Unagi. They got the time. 4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock as Grandy falls Aetherius. And that is going to be a reset as they go ahead and regroup for another push.
Council repelling that push, all with the use of just one Tyre. From Poi on the Junkrat, and of course Junkrat with all his spam damage able to get that ultimate up back real quickly.
And I think that's something that's been huge for them because despite them both having both of them having the double shield, they end up getting the shields of Unagi down faster due to all that spam damage from Junk, whereas we're seeing Radaris trying to get in that back line to get that barrage in. We're seeing, oh no, the Meteor Strike came in but ended up getting caught on a ledge just above the doorway right there. Ended up missing, doing damage to the entire team. Aetherius ends up punching Quaz right into the wall right there, along with Poi coming back out as the Reaper. 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, and Grandy gonna feel the fist as well. The barrage comes out but gets sucked up by Scrublord, now coming in with the Gravitic Flux, looking to do some damage. Will end up getting down Radaris. Beat drop now coming in. First tick almost there as the Meteor Strike comes in from Aetherius. Poi takes down Imanasane, as well as the bongos coming in from Grandy, trying to hold on to the objective. Quaz and Poi cleaning up the objective with Isol's Coalescence, and not a tick to be had. So close, but so far away.
The Council had just the right set of ultimates to be able to repel that raw push at the end there. That Unagi was out of ultimates at the end, and all the Council had was the defensive ultimates from the Sound Barrier and the Coalescence, and it was just enough for them to save the tick.
That's true, and I think one of the things is Ryderus ended up coming in with the uppercut on Schwab, with that beat drop, so it allowed them to wait for essentially another member to get under that that beat drop to help save the objective. We're seeing once again with that gravitic flux, the blizzard once again out from Quaz as they go ahead and shut down this push. We're going to see Scrublord get that rock on Atharius as they go ahead and try to chase down Quantum. Gonna end up being successful. Well, Quantum's just gonna getting staggered right there, just kind of hanging out, waiting to get killed. Schwab gonna go ahead and take that. 1 minute, 25 seconds on the clock as they go ahead and get set up for another push.
Quaz may be more of a May-God than I thought Poi was, because he's pumping out these blizzards like nobody's business.
I agree.
And it is rather impressive.
Well, I think the big thing is that they're going to have something ready here for the next fight. Well, I guess they do. They do have both heal ultimates online, so that will end up helping them out in the end. It's going to come down to whether an ultimate can be had for the side of Unagi as Riderus ends up taking down both Quaz and Grandee. As we see the beat drop coming in from Schwab, looking to see if they can save the day. Ice Wolves also came in with that coalescence, but it doesn't look like it's going to end up being enough. 30 seconds on the clock as they chase down Grandee to spawn. Quaz ends up getting smacked right into the wall by Riderus. And now first tick looking to be second tick. Gravitic Flux coming out from Scrublord, looking to pull them off the objective, but the beat drop coming in from Quantum as well as Atharius with that Blossom, gonna take Poi out of the fight. It is a 5v5 fight on the objective, but it looks like Riderus and Icarus coming in clutch with those DPS moves. Blizzard touching the objective, but I don't believe... No, Schwab, the only one left to touch. Overtime ticking away, and that is going to be a grab of objective 2. No time on the clock for the side of Tidal Esports Unagi.
Council put up a valiant effort by the council, but they just did not have as many ultimates during that team fight as Unagi did. But they had just enough to stall it out until overtime, leaving Unagi 0 seconds left on the clock.
I agree with you there. They really ended up wearing down that time bank, but what it's going to end up coming down to is making sure that they can get to that final point with more than a minute on the clock. If they can successfully do that, we'll end up seeing the Council Prime taking away this map, tying it up before our halftime this evening. If not, we might end up seeing Unagi walking into the half with a 2-0.
Now, Unagi coming in with a very... I think this is actually the exact same team composition.
Exact same comp.
Exact same composition as they ended the last round with. But on the side of the council, have a few picks that you don't see very often. Schwab on the Zenyatta. I cannot remember the last time I've seen a Zenyatta in any sort of competitive match.
Wait. Oh, they're fooling us. They're fooling.
Okay, a little bit. I was
about ready to say, no way they're running dive into this. No way. Like, come on. Like, there's a lot of choices to be made, but dive is not one of them into this double shield with a Reaper. That is not what you want right there. They're working their way into the side room, separating out Schwab from the rest of the team. Ends up getting picked off by Audit, but so does Imani by Quaz, as they go ahead and work this 5v5 in the side room. A Riderus ends up getting fallen by Quaz's shotguns as well. And I'm actually kind of surprised that they're continuing to stick in that room. Now they're going to start moving their way into the objective with the clearance of Unagi from that area. A Tactician trying to hold on, but gets taken down by the rock of Scrublord Grandee, following up on Iptharius. And that, I believe, more than likely is going to be objective 1 with 6 minutes on the clock for the side of the Council Prime.
Unagi played around the May wall rather well, not letting the members of their team get separated so easily, and they did not let the May wall get the pick for free. the council did lose a member during that team fight, but since they are on the attack, they had the spawn advantage and were able to take the first point rather convincingly.
All right, now let's see if they can turn things around. We're seeing Atharius going into that back line. I was kind of wondering where they were going with that. We're seeing them come in right now, trying to get through that side door. Quaz going to get the first pick onto Riderus as Audit coming out with that Coalescence, but the Maywall going to separate things out. Both Ithorus and Quaz coming out with the Blossom, but the Atharius ends up getting the triple. And that's going to go ahead and shore up this battle right now as Riderus ends up taking Scrub Lord out of the fight. 5 minutes on the clock, though, so plenty of time for the Council Prime to come back in with another attack.
Each team investing the Death Blossom into the team fight, and each team coming into this next fight with two ultimates online and 2 ultimates about to come online. And this is looking like a pretty even fight.
I agree with you there. Here comes the Gravitic Flux out from Tactician, looking to see if they can get those picks early, but the B drop in from Schwab gonna go ahead and save the day as they move their way into the objective. Iman is saying, ends up getting taken down. Here's the Blizzard, grabs almost the entire objective, and the B drop coming in, gonna go ahead and save the day. Now Gravitic Flux coming out from Scrub Lord as Quaz takes down Atharius. There is a 4v6 fight on the objective as Schwab now following up on Riderus. The Shield's continuing to hold on to the objective so that Ithorus can get back into the fight. We'll end up taking down Scrub Lord as Tactician and Audit do the same with their counters. 3 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock as we see another regroup for the Council Prime.
In the middle of that team fight, Riderus was able to zone out and drop Poi down to the low ground, right where Quaz was, and both of them had to do the whole loop around the bottom section of the map just to get back into the team fight, and that cost them valuable time and damage.
All right, well, they're continuing to fight off to the side as Quaz ends up taking down Atharius. The team fight happening off the objective right now as they continue to work their way in. The whole group's up. Blossom coming out. Ends up, I'm not for certain what ended up happening there, but Quaz gets a double kill. Stun coming in from Tactician ends up shutting that down, but the kills end up still happening. Atharius following up on Grandy, but Quaz takes down Tactician. They're looking to see if they can take the objective right now. Quantum, the only one left. As we see the separation, Blossom coming now for Atharius, but Isols ends up being the martyr there as Quaz takes down Audit. Boy following up on Riderus as they separate out the team with the Maywall. Atharius, though, coming in. Oh, Poi, the only one left on the objective, ends up wasting the ultimate as Amanasane ends up taking them out of the fight. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. That would have been clutch for their next fight, but Atharius ended up coming in to get the triple when I'm guessing Poi threw it just before that triple happened.
Unagi playing around their barriers beautifully, denying damage from both Poi and Quaz. Not able to get the most out of their hero picks.
Ooh, Tactician getting Quaz early. Oh, just absolutely melting the side of Council Prime right now. Not being successful in what they've tried twice to do, which is preventing them from getting to the objective at all. 1 minute, 30 seconds on the clock right now as the Council Prime sets up for another attack.
I'm going to tip my hat to both Tactician and Scrub Lord. Both of their accretion masses have just been on point so far this round. From stunning Quaz out of his Reaper ultimate to sniping Aetherius out of Aetherius and Quantum out of the sky.
Woo! The Maywall comes up, separating out one, but Atharius takes down Isol's Audit, following up with the Coalescence, gets Schwab as Quaz falls to Atharius as well. 60 seconds remaining as they try to fight their way into the objective, but right now, all the teams are doing is building up ultimate after ultimate. And honestly, I'm not for certain what to think at this point. 45 seconds on the clock as we see another reset from the Council Prime.
The only way that the council is going to be able to take this round for themselves is they're going to have to get a pretty early team kill and blow at least a few of Unagi's ultimates in the process. But looks like they're taking a different position than what
That's
they
going to
have
be
been
the
this
hope. I
entire
think that
round.
what they're trying to do is avoid Atharius if at all costs. Oh! They were waiting for the speed boost. Gravitic Flux coming in from Tactician as well as Scrub Lord, but Atharius going to fall. Grandy and the Blossom coming in from Atharius will get the double onto the heels as well. Council Prime is not successful in grabbing this objective, so Unagi gonna walk away with the victory 2-0 here on Temple of Anubis.
Farius, the sneaky bastard, teleporting right behind the council and getting that big Death Blossom. Well, not this big Death Blossom. This one was huge as well. Yikes. The power of Reaper to tanks in enclosed spaces, it's just quite frankly very scary.
It is. It's incredibly scary. Atharius coming in with 43 elims that match. Grandy blocking 30,000 damage. Just absolutely incredible that these teams are just playing the best that they can. But right now it's showing that Unagi was definitely more prepared coming in to this fight against the Council Prime. We're going to go ahead and give them a 5-minute break, as well as you all at home. Go ahead, get yourself a snack, get a drink, use the restroom, invite some more people to watch Overwatch, maybe. And we'll see you here with more Rose Cup action in about 5 minutes.
And that's
Well, how
but
about
most of the
that?
time they're all just square.
Oh! Krev getting that early
around, but can they teleport in? That's the main question. Can they teleport in safely? Anything happening? It looks like they want to teleport up to the far high ground here. They actually, that was such a smart play. They used
That
the
was
wall
an insane
to get.
play.
Oh, that was insane. And now they're just on the point. They are walled off though. So Storm Creator is already down. One of the longer ones that I've seen ever. It just keeps on going with all these sustainable heroes. No clutch death loss this time from Blue though. The freeze is there on Paragon, but no one to kill him. Storm Creator and Sereniac are on the side, but they can't really get any kills out of this. It looks like the self-destruct may be able to get someone. Does get Aerosmith, but and Sereniac gets back into the well. Nexus actually falling in this time. No more Reaper. They're losing the DPS. Paragon is trying to swing around here, but Sereniac just pumps in the damage with those Diva shotguns. Osprey trying to get another boop in, but it's going to be Blue actually getting Paragon from the other angle. Blue teleporting forward, goes for a Will. Can they actually get it back? It's insane. This fight is going on forever, and they catch it back. The volcanic violence.
Engage, but this is not what you want when you're going against double barrier and a huge ultimate gravitic flux from Prince Cats. He gets 3 of them with the help of his team. Awesome play there. To the rock accretion, kind of just taking a little bit damage down, and of course the first kill going to be coming over to Very Cool, who was playing on the Hanzo, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to get any picks here. Voltage doing a good work here of cleaning up the kills as this power of the Mei here, walling off connection lost, preventing them from getting onto the team. Nyquist tries to come in, gets counterpunched by No Karen. In fact, she just says no right back, and you see, damn it, Karen, wall going up, charge coming in from Despair. The power really of the combination with the Mei, and that's going to be a push to choke to hold them here.
That's really where they do well, even throwing Meteor Strike out with the Shatter. Nice combo.
if Loco can get it off early. That's gonna be the biggest thing if they see that Nano Blade coming. And it looks like here it comes. Speed drop's gonna come. Oh no! The Gravitic Flux and the Blizzard come in. Ursa able to get the double with RDK popping the Blossom.
Defense, though, we're close to the defensive ultimate, so they're going to be a little bit of pressure if that Nano Blades hits right now, and it does look like it's going to come out. Oh, it's only the Blade. The Meteor Strike gets 3% Widowmane. This is a disaster. The Blade came out, and the Nano wasn't even used with it because Riftical was under too much pressure. So that means the Blade will get 1, maybe 2 kills. Then rush in when you see an opportunity. And they're taking it a little bit slower now, so it might be good taking that advice straight away. But the barrage!
The Rock ends up taking out the barrage. What? That's incredible right there. Like, it's
And we'll see that there with the coalescence being used to try and hold it, but it's not going to work. Yes, the bongo will take down the fist will take down the bongo, which is nice to see, but Maddie's surprisingly going huge here, getting the kills, which is the power of Doomfist.
Idea on that one. Vaporous able to follow up there onto Lord Yukon. It's a 5v6 match as again. Voltage, obviously, as we saw in chat, has some wings right there. Getting to the high ground, melting anyone that didn't realize that they used tank mode to get up onto that high ground. We're going to see Lord Yukon, the only one left to try to hold on to the objective, get melted by Voltage. We see the
on the Desi, so it's still going to be that 5 in. The res comes on to Bastion, so all was for naught in the end. Bab goes down. Immortality Field was dropped on the carpet, it was shredded by the Bastion. Hammond just trying to stall eyes, but getting Sigma 9! That's so unfortunate.
Finds Volta and Fortal with a charge kill on Define. That's 2 quick kills, 3! This Reaper will fall. Pilot will fall as soon as they get out of this race form, unless they get out with the TP. Looks like they're just going to try to stall out points as much as they can, but a quick swap at around 20% is going to come through for the Smilers.
Comes back with a res, and now the window of pain coming down for XC. I don't think we're going to see Phantom use this barrage. Maybe he's going to drop down and use it on the tanks. He's trying to turn it around for his team, and he's able to pick off 2 with that? How does that happen?
Fight on the objective as we see the tackle come in from Captain. Ends up getting taken down by Starlock. Oh my goodness! Phantom with the triple kill starting off already, and they haven't even grabbed the objective yet. MacGyver finding themselves on the outside of the objective.
We may see a full hold on point A from them. Window of Pain gonna go down in an interesting position, but there's the barrier to protect all projectiles from coming in. It's gonna be the Immortality Biscuit to try to keep Scion alive, Silco, but he is in danger right now because the rest of his team is slowly falling and he's unable to protect them. Very cool. The only one left alive.
Regroup, get some health back, and he still is just getting picked. It's an insane DPS power.
Uncontested second point capture. Blue goes down. The Shatter falls from Paragon. The Blizzard to follow it up. I don't think anyone's getting out alive over here. What a beautiful follow-up. And they have the ultimate, so why not use them? Pacifist last to fall.
Looking for it, and it's going to be really difficult for anybody to catch him out. Wait, can the Lucio see him? The Lucio sees him.
Lucio sees him. He's stuck in there. The nano charge. Oh, takes down the Reinhardt. Ranter with the nano boost on the Fortal. Oh, but Fortal with the double fire strike off the nano boost.
Gets revenge on Joe Biden, takes him down. The Immortality Field for Jacques does not last any longer. And Wooby, huge barrage, takes down 3. And we make it the 4th. There goes the 4th, and it's
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another amazing match here at the Rose Cup. Unagi versus Council Prime, currently up 2-0. I'm Captain Jack, coming in, as your play-by-play with Matthew Tuesday on the color. Matthew, why don't you go ahead and give us a recap while I set up for our next match?
So on the very first map we played was the Li Zhang Tower. I forgot who won that. You just said it was
Unagi at the very last minute.
Unagi took the round back from Council Prime 2-1 during that last map. And the very last game we played on Temple of Anubis, Tidal Esports Unagi took the game decisively, getting a 2-1 victory over Council Prime. That was a summary, not a recap. Basically.
Pretty much.
But
it's all right. It was just enough for me to get set up and get the rest of my trail mix out of my mouth. So perfect.
Plays happen. And it was sexy.
All right.
That's all you need to know.
So it was absolutely beautiful. This match has been well fought by either side this evening. It has been a very close match, despite how the score came out. Unagi coming in at the very last second. All 3 matches on Li Zhang being 99-99 until the last fight ended up deciding every single map win. Unagi walked away with that first map. And then the second map, ended up grabbing the second objective on Temple of Anubis in overtime. Unagi setting up a strong defense for the Council Prime, not able to get a single tick on the objective 2, walking away with that 2-0. Now we're walking into Eichenwald, which is going to be our hybrid map for the evening. Very interested to see what the teams will end up coming in with. Maybe we might see some pirate ship action once we get the payload moving, or even before we get the payload moving. Oh boy, oh boy, I love me some bunker.
It's kind of like
yeah.
a pirate ship. It's like the lawful version of the pirate ship.
Well, it's the unmovable version. It's the one that's supposed to stay put. So let's see. Interestingly enough, they are setting up above the objective, which is interesting. I guess this might be a diamond strat. I know as a plat player, we usually try to set up at the choke to try to keep them from moving through. That also gives us time to be able to get back if we end up getting taken down. We are going to see the Far Mercy on either side as well, though, so this should be interesting.
There he is coming out with the Doomfist as well. Interesting to see how he'll be able to play into the Bastion bunker.
Ooh, I think we're getting some swaps. The Far Mercy, getting some scopes in there, trying to figure out what's coming out. Riderus and Atharius coming out now on the May Reaper, aka the new goats, as it was coined after the 222 roll lock. So really interested to see how this will end up coming down. Atharius Ore looking to get into that back line, teleport up to the high ground, and try to see if they can take down Quaz on that Bastion. They already knew where they were going, though. Ends up getting the double with Poi on the healer's Scrublord, following up on Riderus as Poi follows up on Imanasane, and they're all falling down. They're looking around. You just see them moving every which way, looking for Atharius. They know that and they found him.
He can only hide for so long before all 6 members find him.
Well, I mean, especially with Poi on that Pharah, like that's like you can't get away from your eye in the sky, so to speak. Like unless you're in a house somewhere, which there are a couple, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue to hide. 2 minutes 20 seconds on the clock. They're preparing for their next push in. Team gets a little bit separated, but not too much. They're working their way back into the high ground as they Immortality. Oh! Barrage in the back line gets the triple. Imanasane following up on Poi, but the res comes in as Imanasane takes down Isol's. Scrublord does follow up on Imanasane, as well as Quantum falling to Grandee. And that is going to be another hold of this objective as Tactician just running away. Nope. Not going to get away. Poi going to come in and take down Tactician. 1 minute, 40 seconds on the clock. Not a single tick to be had on Objective Alpha.
Unagi is not really able to get a foothold in on the objective at all. Both of their pushes have been stopped dead in their tracks by the metaphorical and literal eye in the sky, Farah.
I agree with you there, and they're moving their way back in. Can they get set up? They will end up being successful. Atharius does end up moving back to the low ground. The bad part about this area is there's no way to get into it, but here it goes. Immortality Field staying up right now, trying to keep everything alive. Gravitic Flux comes up, bringing them up, and down they go. Imanasane does take Quaz out of the fight as Scrublord follows up on Tactician. Poi getting very destructive in there, taking down Riderus, and that barrage is going to go ahead and solidify that objective hold once again with the help of the bongos. Gets the double. Schwab able to take down Atharius there at the end. 30 seconds on the clock as Quaz coming back in now as the Tracer is going to make things a little bit more difficult when it comes to holding this objective, especially when it comes to the ult economy.
It was I'm surprised you were able to call that, because that was the most cluttered team fight I have ever seen in my life.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! The Blossom does end up getting Quaz right there. Audit following up on Scrublord. And that's all she wrote, folks. Unfortunately, getting that Bastion off of the high ground was really the Achilles heel in the Council Prime. And Quaz trying to get back faster really needed to swap onto that Tracer to be able to try to defend. Unfortunately, it didn't end up working out for them, because without that Bastion, they didn't have to worry about going up onto the high ground. You don't have that much damage to worry about raining down upon you. So it looks like Quaz is coming back out as the Bastion again, as Unagi moves their way into objective number 2.
Unagi was able to take the control point with only investing 2 ultimates and able to get the rest of their team ultimates. They invested both supports ultimates to get the payload moving here.
And we see Riderus Ore taking down the Immortality field right there as they go ahead and boop Quaz and the rest of the team back. The rock comes in. Riderus taking down Quaz's Atharius, following up on Schwab. That amplification matrix not going to get a whole lot of use for the side of the Council Prime, as Atharius getting the double, ends up taking down Poi, as well as Isouls finds their way over the side, and Scrublord getting taken down by Riderus. 1 minute on the clock as they move their way into objective 2.
Unagi really hitting their stride, not allowing Quaz to set back up on the Bastion, not allowing them to bunker up and halt their payload progress.
Did you see that? They halted their own payload progress because no one was on the payload. Let's hope that doesn't end up biting them in the butt. And it looks like they will be successful. Quaz able to get the double, but Tactician gonna end up taking them out as the res comes in for Riderus. That's gonna move them into objective number 3 territory with 2 minutes on the clock.
Unagi only cost themselves a couple seconds off of not touching the payload. It's not. I mean, I guess every couple seconds matters.
Every couple seconds matters, fam. Every couple seconds matters. Especially the way these matches have been. It could make such a difference. Gravitic Flux coming out from Tactician, but Poi getting the double. Blossom coming down after their Gravitic comes. Team kill ringing loud and proud as Quantum brings Audit back into the fight. We're going to see the swap of Poi over to that Mei, that distracted Mei for this final objective point. 1 minute, 20 seconds on the clock as the bongos end up coming out for Grandee. Scrublord getting ready to use that Gravitic Flux, but will seem to hold on to it as they go ahead and clear the objective right now. The only one left touching is Quantum, will get melted by Isouls, and that's going to give them a minute left on the clock to push into this final objective point.
I look away for a second to take a sip of water, make sure to keep myself hydrated, and then the team fight is already over.
Yep.
I mean, that's
we're in Diamond. This isn't Gold or Plat, where the fight will go on for 2-3 minutes, and I might die of asphyxiation from talking too much. I mean, they're very solid fights here. And we're already seeing them move in. Coalescence, Blossom, Coalescence Seas rather, and the bongos. Quaz getting the quadruple as Grandee follows up on Atharius. The only one that was able to get away is going to be Quantum. 15 seconds left on the clock as they come in for their final push. Not a single ultimate except for Scrublord, and getting ready to have that beat drop is Schwab. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to touch the point. That Maywall will prevent them from being able to touch and having to reroute just barely, like an extra second they might have been able to touch. But unfortunately, like I said, it always comes down to the seconds. If they would have had those couple extra seconds.
I'll give that one to you. If they did have that couple extra seconds, they might have been able to contest for a little bit there, have another team fight over the last objective. I'll concede that one.
It's all right, fam. More than likely, I probably wouldn't have been right. Probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, to be completely honest with you. There were 2 ultimates online for the side of the Council Prime. The beat drop from Schwab and Scrublord with the Gravitic Flux. So worst comes to worst, it would have been a Sigma 9. Like, that's probably what would have ended up happening. But now we're seeing them come in once again. It doesn't look like we're going to see the bunker comp out for the side of Unagi. Do you feel that that might be an issue, Matthew? Oh, Matthew. Matthew Sweetums. Where you at, fam? All right, so I think that this is going to be interesting because first off, they're not running the Far Mercy again on the side of Council Prime, but we are seeing that May Reaper could be good if they can make sure that Riderus does not become a nuisance. So let's go ahead and see if they can go ahead and pull that off. The May Wall goes back, but not far enough as they push in on the speed boost. Riderus already taking down Poi, so it's a 5v6 fight as they move into the objective. Riderus trying to get that additional pick in the backline as shields overlapping shields. Riderus and Amonasane end up taking down Isles and Grandee, and they all fallen down as the tactician hits those balls right in the faces of Scrublord and Schwab. 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock as they regroup for another push.
Apologies, it rained today, so my internet is not
No
quite
worries,
not quite up to snuff. But this round is looking pretty similar to the last one. The Fire Mercy really raining havoc on the attacking team, just like it was round 1.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that's going to be unfortunate. Riderus taking down Isles, who had the only ultimate online. Atharius coming in with the Meteor Strike allows Riderus and Audit to take down Grandee and Poi as they move in. Scrublord's going to end up getting taken down as well. And I gotta say, they have to come out with something for this Far Mercy, and Poi thinks it's another Pharah.
A duel in the sky, it's worked before in the past for other teams. I believe in the Council. I feel like the Poi would be able to pull it out.
Well, I was almost concerned because Schwab wasn't switching over to the Mercy, so it would have not been a valuable fight. Barrage coming out from Riderus as Isles using the Coalescence to take them out as well. The Bongos also falling as Tactician getting the double punch kill on Isles and Quaz. The res comes in onto Riderus, bringing them back in the fight as Schwab ends up falling there at the end. To Audit, 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock, and I gotta say, I'm a little worried for the Council Prime right now.
If this round is going to be anything like the first one, as it's been playing out to be so far, Council Prime is going to pull out 6 ultimates right now at this very moment, and they're going to take the control point.
Well, let's hope. The halt comes in as Atharius takes down Isles. Coalescence coming out for Audit, looking to see if they can take down that Far Mercy in the sky. They're going to halt the push and just go straight back. They wasted an ultimate, only ended up having 1 pick right there. Ended up working out well for them. So now they've got a minute left on the clock and preparing for another push.
We have both the Pharaohs dueling in the sky, and it's really going to come down to...
Gravitic Flux comes in, only gets 1 as Riderus takes down Poi. Quaz follows up on Atharius. Now they got to fight their way into the objective with hopes of being able to take it on. Poi coming on to that barrage, but was not able to get rezzed up as Quaz takes down Amonasane. Riderus follows up on Isles. The res does come in for Isles in return, but it is a point for point right now when it comes to kills, but it looks like Council Prime gonna go ahead and solidify this objective capture, giving them 2 minutes 45 seconds to push in to objective number 2.
Not exactly 6 ultimate presses, but picks nonetheless. Quaz able to get that early pick in the team fight with the Death Blossom. Really gave the numbers advantage for about 3 seconds to the Council, but that was 3 seconds just enough for the Council.
That's true. Oh, Riderus getting rocked and rolled by Scrublord right there. But Poi gonna end up falling to Audit very early in the fight, as we see Schwab trying to see if they can successfully get the res, coming out with the Valkyrie. Will not end up getting it. Meteor Strike comes in from Atharius, though, gets Grandy and Iceholes as Scrublord takes down Riderus. Quaz following up on Tactician. The fight continuing on. Quaz gets the double as Poi following up on Atharius, and Amanasane makes it a triple for Quaz. That payload still moving forward with 1 minute, 40 seconds on the clock.
Schwab with the clutch res on Scrublord, bringing the numbers advantage back into the Council's favor, with Schwab still in Valkyrie, able to damage boost her entire team.
Now this is going to be the difficult part, because Atharius coming out now as the McCree. The double comes in for Poi with that barrage as Audit takes Poi out of the fight. Here comes the res, and it looks like this is going to end up being a one fight. Audit, the only one left, gets taken down by Scrublord. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock as they move their way into objective number 3.
This is really in the Council's favor. It was a very smooth, clean payload push. They did not get off the payload for 1 second. They were able to get here with maximum time, barring that team fight that they had.
You see what I see? There's a Bastion in that bunkered Matthew Tuesday. Oh boy, that Bastion raining bullets onto the payload right now as we see the Council Prime just hugging the wall, just trying to do everything possible to hold on. Coalescence coming out from Iceholes as the bongos hit for either side, trying to see if they can support the team. Atharius gets the double on the Far Mercy as the Gravitic Flux comes out, does not end up taking down the Bastion though. Quasi following up on Amanasane, but Atharius gets the double again. Scrublord following up on Riderus as Atharius takes down Iceholes. The only one left on the objective is Scrublord, but will get taken down by Audit, swapping over to the Ana. Oof, this is going to be a hard final push here, Matthew.
Quantum hitting up the clutch immortality field just around the corner of the pillar, up on the high ground, just out of reach for the Council. We're not able to kill the immortality field and thus not able to kill the Bastion during that fight. If they can somehow get the pick on Quantum, then they'll be able to seal this game.
Gravitic Flux coming out from Tactician, but we're not seeing the Bastion damage solidify those kills. Amanasane does take down Poi as they work their way into the high ground to try to take down that Bastion. Scrublord getting Tactician as tank mode now coming down for Atharius, but may not end up being successful. That suck coming out from Scrublord, preventing them. The Bastion separated. Scrublord successfully able to take it down. They're pushing in 30 seconds on the clock. The Blizzard coming down, the long bomb, if you will, ends up solidifying this objective for the side of Unagi. 15 seconds left on the clock. They got time for a quick regroup as Atharius was going to swap off the Bastion, but notice they had time to get set up once again. They really got to make their way into this objective quickly. Scrublord coming back as the Hammond, but with that May not going to be able to touch, and it looks like our touchers are our healers, but they're going to get melted. Atharius just melting them with the bongos that are coming out from Amanasane. And folks, it's the playoffs. That's it. Tidal Esports Unagi is walking away with the game and going on to the next round of the playoffs here in the Diamond Division. Atharius on that Bastion. If you did not get play of the game as Bastion, you're not playing Bastion right. That's just the way that it is. And just, I didn't even see the amplification matrix. Oh gosh, that is just, oh man. Woo! That was bad there at the end. But it was a close game nonetheless. The score does not do these teams justice right here. Good game to the Council Prime. Tidal Esports Unagi is going on to the quarterfinals. Woohoo! Ooh, they'll be facing off against the winner of the matchup between Hadrons and the Wrecking Crew. So definitely going to be interesting to see that matchup this evening. But before we go, hit us up with your player of the match there in the chat. Matthew Tuesday, where do you see your player of the match lying tonight?
To be honest, with how close all three of these matches were, I couldn't tell you.
You got to try, though. You got to try.
My peanut brain can only work so fast.
All right, well, I will start. How about that? I'm giving it to Audit, period. Audit doing an incredible job both on the Moira and the Ana in that last map. Just doing an incredible job keeping the team up as long as possible for the side of Tidal Esports Unagi. I do have to give a shout out to their other healer as well. I didn't catch their name before they ended up leaving the match. Quantum coming in with those beat drops as well. So I'm gonna correct myself. I'm gonna give a double player of the match tonight because I can do that. So Tidal Esports Unagi, your healers are absolutely incredible. Coming in with clutch beat drops, clutch coalescences, those amp matrices, as well as those nano boosts, just doing an incredible job keeping you in the fight so you could be as aggressive as possible. You're walking away with my players of the match. Now, Matt, it's your turn again.
I'm not gonna let you flex your captain status and do a double player of the match.
You
right?
are also allowed to do a double player of the match if that's all right.
I'm going to take Quantum.
Okay,
Quantum's
you can
my
fine. You
player
can
of the
take
match.
Quantum. Very well. But why are you giving it to Quantum? You're leaving us hanging, Matthew. Why are you giving it to him?
For all of the reasons you just stated, both the healers from Unagi just breathtaking. They didn't die. I'm stumbling over my words here.
They didn't die. They didn't let their
didn't die.
teammates die. They did exactly what a healer is supposed to do. But it was incredible, though, and they came in clutch a couple of different times when it came to battling on objectives. I believe one of them ended up being on that one of the two remaining for the side of Unagi on that final map on Lijiang Tower. This could have been a completely different matchup if Lijiang Tower would have ended up getting won by the Council Prime. And as we stated before, it literally came down 99-99 on all three Lijiang Tower maps. It's all about who ended up winning that last fight. So, folks, give it up to your healers because they do good stuff. They do good stuff. All right, folks. That is going to be it for us this evening. Let me go ahead and bring up the schedule to let you know what's going to be coming down the pike for tomorrow night, because I know y'all want to go ahead and watch that. It looks like we're going back into the Diamond Division once again. Lunar Eclipse versus the Tokyo Califers. Is that how you pronounce that? Aye, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check that out right here on the Rose Cup OW channel. Ooh, it looks like the winner of that will end up going to face off Wisdom Overwatch in the quarterfinals. So that should definitely be an interesting match for you all to check out. Looking in the chat, nobody else is given their player of the match, and it makes me kind of sad. I always hate like when we have so many people and then like nobody gives their player of the match. It's like, come on, somebody's got to have a favorite out there. But thank you, Dr. Top Up. We appreciate your praise for us casters and the amazing work by First Night of Knee in the producer role this evening. Just be sure to hit that bell. Come on, folks. Hit that bell to tune in for more amazing Overwatch action here on the Rose Cup OW. You can also hit that sub $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription will give you access to some cool emotes and badges as you continue to support our amazing community. With that being said, I think that is it for us here at the Rose Cup. I'm Captain Jack.
And I am Matthew Tuesday.
And thanks again to First Night of Neek coming in on that producer role. And we'll see y'all next time.